Today's a little something different, for what it's worth. I alluded to it a while back, but we had a corner console with this door on it. It's leaded. It's nice. The door is. It survived many years, and so when we got rid of it, I pulled the door off, and my thoughts were to turn it into something. And now I know what. So I went on the interwebs and oh, look at that. I haven't used that in forever. I turned on my ring light and now, woo! Childish. Anyway, I ordered this applique. It looks like stained glass, and basically it's decals that you put on the glass and wet it, squeegee it, and it's going to be beautiful. Then I'm going to put some eye hooks in here, hang it in front of my kitchen window, and it'll pick the morning sun and it'll look beautiful. Well, it's not here yet, so I'm kind of going on speculation. I think it's going to be here tomorrow. I ain't going to swear to nothing. But this thing needs a lot of work. First off, the hardware's got to come off. The glass has got to come out. It's a door, so we want to get rid of that edge. And it's got holes from where the old handle hardware. I don't have any plug cutters anymore, but I do have some dowels that I think we can fill that in. We'll sand it up, make it pretty. And then if the stained glass film shows up tomorrow, you can be privy to me trying to put it all together. But for now, let's get the cleanup part done. All right, first off, I turned off that light. That was bugging me. Took all the screws out. Gonna throw them in a baggie in case that thing doesn't show up tomorrow. Even if it does, I'll be a little more organized with where everything's at. These hinges will go in even though I know I will never use them, I'll keep them in my hardware drawer. I think I need something smaller for that. Let's see if we can get the glass out though. Hinges off. There it is. Wow. Picked up some dirt along the way. There it is. We'll set that safely somewhere. So now we have to deal with the frame. The lip getting rid of, and the holes filling, and some sanding. So next. All right, I'm gonna pull up a chair. I'm gonna sit here and scrape this. It's got quite a bit of varnish on it, or whatever they use, and I don't want it to just sit here and clog up sandpaper. Plus, I like scraping. Now I could sit here and scrape this whole thing and chit chat. I don't think you can hear me. Yeah, look at that. It's all oak, solid oak, so it should clean up okay. The thing is, since it's going to be in the window, I have to make sure that both sides get some equal treatment. I don't know if I should run this through the table saw. My table saw is small, so I can't run it through like fencing it here and run that through. I'd have to run that up against the fence, which isn't a big deal, but not my ideal deal either. Let me get more of this off, and we'll decide that before we sand. All right, fast forward. I'll be back. Okay, well I got it cut down. And it worked pretty good on the table saw. I didn't film it because it's probably not the best way to do it. I don't want to show anybody something that I know is not good. So the problem, not really, just the top and the bottom, is you can see where the dowel that held this thing together went. So I'm going to fill that. Again, luckily it's on the edge and we're going to be using a dark stain. So I'll fill that, fill the hinge holes, and we'll plug the big handle holes, and that'll be our next phase. I'm mixing up some wood glue with some of the fibers off the saw. Usually I'll use sawdust for fine holes, but since these are kind of big, I'm trying to see if I can do it with the bigger fibers and fill it in better. Okay, I have these plugs. I have fluted dowels that won't go at all, but I do have these plugs, and I'm going to drill the hole out a little bigger, and then we'll just plug the front, plug the back, or I guess plug the back, whatever's front and back, I don't know. We'll drive those in, and they'll glue up nice. We'll sand them flush, and it should hide pretty well. Should. And I'm kind of committing to this being the prettier side, so let's go this way. And let's see if I got a good size for these plugs. I think I can go a size bigger. Hang on. I did what I should have done the first time, and I tested it on a piece of scrap. Yeah, this will work. All right, we're gonna just dip it in there. I'm gonna try and orient the grain, but I think these plugs are maple. Again, it's not fine furniture, so they're not gonna match exactly, but I don't really care about that either. I kind of like that it'll have a story that goes with it. I think we had this when my kids were kids. Before they got all old. I wanted to show you, I went back through and took the finer stuff from the sandpaper that I didn't make you watch. And after I planed it, I went ahead and reapplied the finer sawdust to the holes. And so that will take a little more sanding, but for now I'm just gonna hand sand the groove. For now, I'm going to hand sand the groove and the corners here. And so, because I am such a kind and compassionate man, I won't make you watch that. So, this works better when it's up here, but it's not as easy to talk. So, oh gosh, get out of my face. Okay. You can't watch the hand sanding. I just can't. No, I'll be back. Okay. If this works, miracle. Not really concerned. I gotta put gloves on, which means I'm gonna film the whole darn thing and have to do a bunch of editing because I can't push the button with my gloves on and I don't have a remote from a phone. But I had the Early American, a stain I like, and I also had dark walnut. Well, now I have a combination of both, thoroughly mixed, more or less. I'm actually gonna put it on with a brush because it'll absorb less of the stain than a bunch of rags or towels. I'm hoping I can stretch this. Can you hear that? Can I decline? Oh, it worked. Yeah, spam. Okay. Enough looking at my gorgeously handsome face. I want this dark because it's going to contrast with the applique. It's going to contrast with my wall and my window trim, which is white. Oh, let's roll with it. Okay, this is the simulated, oh, far out. And it's got more instructions. I'm gonna read them. That's the simulated, what do you call that? Lead glass window, stained glass window. And we're gonna put it over my actual stained glass window, cut the pieces out, look, and put them on. Nothing to it. Let me read though. I'll be back. All right, bear with me. I guess I need to pick what part of this thing I want in my glass here. I like the stems quite a bit. So I think I'm gonna highlight that. So I think I'm gonna cut around it to give me my working stock. And then little by little cut each piece and fit it in. Okay. We got it cut. We picked where we wanted to have the picture of in here. Mine is different. Usually you put it on just a pane of glass. Mine has to go on each pane and remove. If I don't remove that strip, the picture's not going to line up. So no stress though. So I have to come in, measure, cut this piece out, and so on. Let me do one or two and see how that goes, and then if I haven't thrown it out, I'll bring you back. Okay? Okay, so I cut the first piece out. One thing I'm finding annoying is the instructions say you have to leave a 1/16 of an inch around I'm assuming because this is going to expand and contract. And the fact that this is actual leaded glass means I have to kind of nip corners but I got one. I'm gonna do all these and then we'll play with adhering them. So the leading is a consistent 3/16. So I took one of my strips that I took out, and I'm using that to measure the other ones to maintain the same amount of removal so the picture flows and doesn't look weird. We'll see. I don't know about the gaps. But I have to squeegee these out too. I was going to use this, but it's going to be, well, I guess I can get it in there. Anyway, I'm going to get them all cut out before I start getting water on them because they don't want you to get water on the backing. Okay. A long time later, I have it laid out. I think I'm going to wind up having to trim some corners after I adhere it. I'll put a new blade in and do the final tweaks. Some of it'll go under the leading, so that 1/16 gap that I'm worried all about probably isn't a big deal. So I think the next thing is we take it off and lay it out so we don't get confused, because sometimes people get confused and that's no reason to criticize them. So I think working from the middle out will be easier. So I figured, and it's probably going to be easier actually to finagle the big one in place. So I have some pre-mixed soapy water, and it says well saturated. I've never done my own window tint because no way. And then the same side that's on the paper is what we've got to put on the glass. So we've done everything we can to make this successful. I won't make you watch each and every one of these either, but I figured you'd want to at least see how difficult it's going to be. And it says start in the middle and squeegee out. That's where I think having the leading is going to be a little advantage, because it's basically pushing under it. What I don't want to do is sacrifice some of my 1/16 that I had to leave or whatever and have it, have a bigger gap on one side. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. It says look for bubbles. I don't see any bubbles. Huh. Well, maybe a couple, but I'm opting for this as my squeegee now because that thing's just too beat up. I can already see I'm going to have a little, not perfect edges, but perfect enough. And I think that when it's up on the window, it'll be less obvious. I hope. Let's take a look at it though. Oh, yeah. Might fit the 10-foot rule, I don't know. But, all right, I'm gonna put the rest of them on and then bring you back and we'll reframe it and blah, blah, blah. All right, y'all. Can you see it? It's still drying, but let's get the reaction. Hey, Jack, got a second? Thank you. She doesn't know we're recording. Sorry about the delay.
Oh, wow. I like that.
Do you?
Yep.
Gonna look good in the window?
I think so.
All right. I still have a little drying to do, so I'm double checking the corners, but I just wanted you to get a first reaction. So we got her. I leaned over and turned the camera off. She said, "Were you just recording?" My wife doesn't like to be on film. Hey, how many of y'all have spouses or significant others and they don't want to be on your video, even incidentally? I think I got my wife in one of my videos when we were camping. It was kind of a on the road video I did, and she's in it. But yeah, she says, no, not my thing. and I try to respect that. But getting her reaction off camera, I think was fine. So, all right, I'm gonna keep pushing and looking, see if I can make it better. And then we're gonna get it hung up. And then you'll see that. So when we started this the other day, I put all these bracket pieces, if you remember, in a plastic bag so that I could find them when the project was done. And guess what? They were still in the plastic bag when the project was done. And I was able to pull them out and put them back in here to hold this thing together. And I'm kind of proud of myself for that. Because it takes a lot for me to remember things. So I'm just going to line these up and bring it inside, hang it back in the window. I've already had the frame in. I think I mentioned that in the window, just so I could, make sure it all lined up. And the window we chose, I don't think we could have made a better choice. Size-wise, it just seems to like it was meant to be there. So the other window, the back window I was going to put it in, turned out to be too small because it's, got the frame like that. And this window is just right. Apu. So I am gonna finish this and bring you back for the big reveal.